Today, through 2 medium-term plans, and some of the dreams of the Vision 2030 have been validated. Roads and railways that looked idealistically at that time are now common features in many parts of our country. Previously unimagined mineral deposits have now been discovered. Electricity production has increased, and so has access, even to the most remote parts of the country. Regions that required days of road travel can now be accessed in a matter of hours. As we speak, ladies and gentlemen, the largest freshwater aquifer and the largest wind farm on the continent are about to be harnessed in Turkana and Marsabit counties, respectively. Furthermore, our new constitution has given Kenyans a foundation for more participatory and devolved governance. Yet, as Kenya grows, more pressure continues to be exerted on our natural resources, especially water, air, soils, and other ecosystems. Coupled with these, unpredictable weather patterns fueled by climate change pose great challenges to our largely rain-fed, agricultural-based economy. Aware and awake to these challenges, the Kenyan government, through the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, initiated a participatory process of formulating a strategy to better utilize our natural resources and ensure greater socioeconomic growth. This was designed to give an impetus of green growth to our overall economy. It is in this light of these developments that we have converged here today to launch the Kenya Green Economy Strategy and Implementation Plan. The writers of old remind us that there is a time for everything. While the country's general elections that are just round the corner are of great interest to all Kenyans, it is equally significant that Kenya is transiting to a new dispensation in socio-economic planning, and that is the third medium-term plan of our Vision 2030, or MTP3. The Green Economy Strategy will strengthen the country's third medium-term plan by increasing environmentally sustainable growth across all sectors. The monumental challenge of attaining an economic growth rate of 10% and above must continue to be addressed in this coming dispensation to ensure that our economy doubles in size in 8 years or less. This will create more employment and generate extra revenue while ensuring the cleaner, healthier environment as our Constitution demands. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, the publication we launched today is a living document. Its foreword indicates projects and initiatives that were inspired by it, and even before publication. This strategy was born when we conceived and published the Kenya Green Economy Assessment 3 years ago, where the minimum impacts of transiting to a green economy were modeled, they were tested theoretically, and they were found to be positive. Thereafter, a draft for the Green Economy Strategy was produced through a consultative process that involved stakeholder forums. It is needless to emphasize that participatory governance, as required by our Constitution, remains a mandatory and a resource-intensive endeavor. I therefore extend my gratitude to the partners who supported this process, including the African Development Bank, Danida of Denmark, the European Union, German Development Cooperation, UN Environment, and the World Wildlife Fund for Nature, and the South Korean Ministry of Strategy and Finance. These partners, together with others, have supported the Gesip process from inception to implementation. To all those stakeholders who are supporting other green initiatives in Kenya, today's focus may be limited, but we recognize your efforts and will acknowledge them in due course. What we unveil here today is not entirely new. The contents build on some of our best practices in an effort to upscale them. As I've already alluded to, they stem from the Vision 2030 and other existing national policy documents. While our vision highlighted what we should do to become a middle-income country with a high quality of life for all our citizens, the green economy strategy is more about how we should do it to implement it and what we ought to do. The green economy strategy themes are closely interconnected. For example, sustainable natural resource management can be bolstered by resource use efficiency, which in turn enables investment in sustainable infrastructure for even greater resource use efficiency. In the recent years, actions taken to slow down climate change or adapt to it have opened the eyes of many on the strategic nature of environmental management for planning and for development. For example, manufacturers of our plant and machinery are now more aware that energy-efficient products are more acceptable even to all of us, the consumers. When our private sector, led by the Kenya Flower Council, took initiative and installed solar power in greenhouses for lighting and irrigation, the carbon footprint of our floriculture producers reduced to levels below those grown even in greenhouses in Europe, despite the long-distance flights. This not only lowered operational costs, but increased market access and enabled our flowers to appeal to environmentally conscious consumers, resulting in growth of our flower industry. Solar energy is one resource that Kenya has in such abundance, but its usage as a strategic resource continues to be overlooked. But through a number of initiatives with the support of development partners, Kenya has been able to join hands with the rest of Africa in mainstreaming the green economy and our solar energy use in small businesses across the country. Similarly, we have been building the technical capacity of our counties in green economy planning through training and capacity building of their staff. The counties of Mombasa and Nakuru have now been pilots in this exercise. Both the private and public sectors, including counties, have benefited from exposure and technical assistance through agencies and private sector actors from the developed world as part of the green economy strategy process. As Europe discovered that daylight saving in the last century, Africa is also making her share of discoveries in resource use efficiency as a driving force for economic growth. The Switch Africa Green Project, whose networking component joins us in this launch, is building the capacity of small enterprises in Kenya, in Uganda, in Ghana, Burkina Faso, South Africa, and Mauritius. Through the initiative, small businesses are able to make use of materials they previously discarded as waste. For example, leather offcuts from shoes are making sandals, bracelets, and dog collars for both the domestic and export markets. Another example is bananas and peels, previously discarded as unsuitable for making flour, are being used to develop new products, including jam and even wine. In Ghana, a local industry producing gari, a popular food, has experienced growth just by introducing more fuel-efficient stoves. In the same way, many Kenyan households have realized that they can more than halve their consumption of charcoal by using the most modern stoves, thereby saving our precious trees and also increasing domestic productivity. Our domestic economy must no longer be determined by just how many acres of land are under irrigation, but the amount of produce derived from a unit of water and also by a unit of an acre of land. Let us continue to phase out inefficient pumps in our factories that use extra energy to drive liquids into inefficient networks of wrongly measured pipes. Alongside Switch Africa Green, other initiatives such as NetFund's Green Innovations Award, operationalizing green economy at the county level, and the Green Growth and Employment Creation Program are implementing the green economy strategy. Beyond these, there are several green energy, environmental conservation, and climate-smart agriculture projects already under implementation. I am also pleased to note that the Kenya Bankers Association is helping to develop unique green financial products, including green bonds. As I conclude, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow Kenyans, the green economy strategy is something that we must embark on seriously and implement it in the next medium term. Doing so, ladies and gentlemen, is not an option. It is not an option. The Sustainable Development Goals have awakened Africa and the world to the importance of the green economy. The fastest growing economies in the region are at a different level of greening their growth. Let us together provide leadership to the region and attain the much needed GDP growth rate of 10% and above through a green economy strategy. I thank you and look forward to launching the Gesip together. Thank you very much indeed.